camera really helped me to express myself in a very fluid, very easy way. I feel the camera is an extension of me, really. My name is Gabriella Imperatori-Penn and I'm a photographer. And you're looking at a flower, it's called flower number 6, out of a series of flowers that I photographed. I'm very particularly interested in nature because I feel that us humans forget sometimes that we're part of this beautiful nature all around us, and I like to remind of that. I've been wanting to be a photographer at the age of 15. It was just extremely intuitive and instinctual. And then I got a camera for Christmas that year, and that's how it really started. And I was always photographing landscape at that time and my friends. One reason I chose photography as my medium because I was always really interested in art, but I'm really bad at drawing. Camera really let me express myself very with ease. And I think also I see better when I have like a square shape. I have an extensive 30+ year career in commercial work. And I think to work within those guidelines was really appealing to me, especially in the beginning of my career. And then I've always expanded into fine art. What I love about this flower in particular is that it is very textural and it is kind of sexy. I even feel like it's kind of male and feminine. Everything in life there is, and a lot of in my work, which you will see in the other series that we're going to be talking about, is that nothing is perfect. Everything has all aspects. There's always the beauty and the beast, and there's always the feminine and the masculine. And even this flower, I think the stem in itself is actually not necessarily the most beautiful part of the flower, but it adds to its complexity of beauty. I think that in my work I'm really trying to actually find that painting. I'm trying to create a painting, and I think in this particular flower I was quite successful. I've actually had people come to my studio and ask me if it was a painting or a drawing, and I'm really, really happy about it. I found these stones on 2 different beaches on an island in Greece, and I would like to express with these photographs. It's really a meditation on the whole universe and on the planets, on the moons. They're very small stones. They're only about maybe 3 inches in diameter, and I chose to blow them up to kind of bring an abstraction into the pieces. And I also chose to frame them this way, so they're more like canvases and not so much like photography. The luminous and the shadow aspect is something that I consider exists in all. This is actually a big Buddhist concept of beauty there's always the shadow and the light. In this series of luminous and shadow stones, I'm trying to express a very peaceful moment and for the viewer to experience. I think that in our very stressful world full of hectic moments and running around constantly, these pieces can kind of bring you back into that meditating state, into yourself, into the focus, and into a groundedness, which is what I'm trying to do with these pieces. Through still life, I try to create sort of a different world, which is really very much the world I live in and what I see. I'm very object-driven. It's always been what I've been most focused on, even throughout my commercial career. I've always been a still life photographer. And I have also some bodies of work that are landscape, but to me, even a landscape there's something about it that reminds me of still life, except that in still life, I'm sort of controlling the process. In still life, I'm kind of controlling the photograph. And I think that's what really appeals